What's happening, everyone? Happy New Year! Welcome to the first 2024 Airbrush Down and Dirty Tricks live stream on a Thursday night. We are on track. We are on time. Got things rolling. I hope everyone had an amazing holiday, amazing New Year, and everyone's happy, safe, healthy, and looking forward to this year. Let's see who we got on this evening. We got some Down and Dirty Tricksters here. We got Lindsay J. What's happening? Big Squatch. Mike Stanton, Michael Cohen, Simon Carter. All the guys are here. Thank you very much. Bobby Silva. Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's see what we got here. Let's see. All right, we got a few of you guys in who are on Facebook. We got Ken Salads over there. We got Joshua Adam Wade. Let's get this thing kicked off. Let me show you what I got going on. Happy New Year, Robert. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hope everyone's doing well, and let's cheers to a good start in the new year. I did hit record. Thank you, Steve. And I hope we all have an awesome year, better than last year, and just keep things moving forward. Brian, how's it going, man? Welcome to the craziness. And Cody Adams, what's going on? Honey Rivera over on Facebook, what's happening? Let me take a sip of this. This little Buffalo Trace given to me for the holidays. It's a good way to kick it off. And before we kick it off, I want to say definitely a happy new year to all my awesome members. Thank you very much for sticking with me. And a few of you new guys who just came on, if you haven't joined, we have the Join Now QR code up there. You can go in, and that gives you, for the month of January, since we almost hit 10,000, we're like 51 shy of 10,000 subscribers. We got a lot more members, so I'm doing 20% for the rest of the month off everything in McKay Fine Art. So thank you very much for everyone there. And that, the store link is right here. That's McKayFineArt.com. That's got all the downloads, including this one. This is what we are doing, which is right here. So we're doing the Dragon Castle Attack. This is a variant of a motorcycle I did 10 or 12 years ago. Right around there. 351 profiles. Thanks, man. No, we'll keep it legit. So I did this on a motorcycle a while back in a variant of it. And what I did originally was the mouth was the brake light of the bike, and the tower turrets were the left and right blinker. So it was a bagger. And so the scale of this one to that one is pretty different. The bike was a little bit stretched out different and configured different. This has been reconfigured for this. Yeah, so it was really cool. So each window had a blinker in it, and then the mouth, when you hit the brake light, the mouth lit up. I think the eye might have lit up too. Might have been just the mouth, I forget. It was a long time ago. You got Chris Garcia. Cool. Cool, we got everyone in here, which is good. All right, let's take that off. Let's go here. Let's get to our lovely multi-split screen and show you what we got going on here. All right, let me get some water. I do got to tickle my throat, so I'm going to grab a Halls. Been painting a lot this week and sanding. Building models. I took some time during the break to build some tabletop mini models. A whole bunch of them. Gonna be doing some videos on those soon as well. Alright, so let me show you what I got going on here. So this file is available on the store. I don't know if I have it here. No, that's not it. Reference image not it. Okay, no, I don't. So on the store, I have this file. Nigel McClung, the first of 2024. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that a lot. Thank you very much. So, on this one here, when you go to the store, you get a couple different variants of it. We have this one here, which is the full castle with the bricks and the large stone. So you can turn these, they're on a separate layer, so you can turn them on and turn them off. Or you can just open the one that doesn't have it. So you have it with or without the brick. So if you want to do like kind of like a high fantasy castle, you can do it really smooth, like polished marble walls and something like that. And if I was to do that, and I might actually include this in the file, you guys can tell me what you think. I was thinking if I did that, maybe add to the smooth one, like the points, like it's a smooth, like where the flags would be on it, just so it'd have a little bit smoother look. I might do that with like the high fantasy one, which is more smooth. And this is with the brick one. What I also give you in the file is the brick pattern itself, which is a square pattern that you can repeat up and down a million ways. And then, depending on how you are in Photoshop or Illustrator, and I'll do some variants of this, show you how to manipulate the perspective so you can do pathways and walkways and curved turrets and curved castle walls and things like that with this pattern. It's really useful. I came up with it a long time ago. I did a lot of bikes with it. So it's a really cool pattern. So when I got here, and this is what I always do, when you get the download, you'll see there's a square here. It says print to scale. And I don't put that in the plot file. Just don't plot it because you don't need that. You print it so that 1 inch square equals 1 inch of paper equals 1 inch on the vinyl cut. That way you have the ability to cut paper masks that match your plotted mask. That's why I always do this. I'm talking with a bunch of videos. I'm not going to go over it too much. This is going to be a two-part. For those who didn't notice the title, I know this is not going to happen in one video, especially because I put the option out there. Everyone wanted the brick, so it's going to take longer. Damn, as soon as I start talking. Anyway, we have a 12 by 18 panel here that I prime with black. It's got a little blue mixed in it, but ideally it's black. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do this in maybe a blue tone, just because I like it, and that's what the original was done. Maybe I'll do a mix of colors. I'm not going to do a realistic fire color. It'll take way too long on this, because there's definitely going to be a color value. But tonight, it's mainly going to be black and gray and white, and then we'll start adding color the next one, so I'll show you how to do that. We'll do everything in gray tone. So, I should just talk quieter. If I talk quieter, I don't cough as much. So, how's that sound? Is that better? That's better. Because when I raise my voice like this, I cough. But when I talk lower, it's not as bad. So, I have to do that. Alright. 12 by 18 inch panel. We're going to apply this. Of course, I left my squeegee on the vinyl bench. Honey, you are a rock star. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Much appreciated. Put this on with ye old hinge technique. I don't need to talk about that a million times. We've done that a bunch of videos, but if you look up my videos, you can find some of these on how to do vinyl application, mask applications using these techniques. But basically, this is it. I tape down one side. Probably glad you are welcome. Thank you very much for popping in. Everyone else over on Facebook. I don't see Facebook as much. Just the way the system works, it kind of scrolls weird. Hi, Mom. Alright, so tape down the middle. I'm going to roll this back. This board's been primed with Graytex Autoboard Sealer. black and blue. This is FBS blue mask. That's what we're using here. It's a lot of picking and weeding. So, if you haven't noticed, depending how you do your work, when you're over sanded clear, vinyl mask sticks very well, and almost a little too well, even the really low tack stuff. When you're over base coat, or like a sanded, you know, base, like a cured base coat or a scuffed base coat, it comes off a lot easier. So, great timing. Currently finishing underpainting over 40K space. Oh, very cool, man. Black and gray. Plan to add some color on the top. Awesome. Yeah, Simon. So I got a few Space Marines I've built. I have a full, like, 2,000, 2,500 point army that I have to build at some point. And I got some of them built, and I got some of them base in blue. And I'm gonna do an Ultramarine, so I'm doing the regular, the traditional blue for mine. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing some videos. I actually did a quick one down at Cratex on how to do a black primer and then the Zenithal highlighting, like that gray to white tonal, for doing color washes over. So very cool time. I got that on. Alright, so once you got that, yeah, I did that side, laid it down, pulled the under, squeegeed it, then pulled the tape, and then repeated that to the other side. So I can't, for some reason, I can't find my charcoal. I had like a charcoal I could rub down so you can see the vinyl cut a little bit better. But that is not showing up. You know, I'm going to raise this up a bit. Sorry, guys. Yeah, where's my... Well, here's the other trick. Usually I have charcoal I could put down, like just powder, so you can see the cuts a little better. But I don't have that. So I'm going to have to do the old trick of like the white, just a little paint. So I'm just taking a little paint, some extra reducer, and we're just going to rub it on quick, and that's going to kind of fill in the cuts. And then I'll wipe off the excess, and you'll be able to see them. In person, I can see them fine, but you really can't see it well. But this is a nice trick when you can't see your cuts very well to do. It's a very easy, quick trick. Use my cigarette ashes. Yeah, I probably used to be able to do that. Luckily, I quit that a long time ago. I think we're going on 13, 14 years I quit that. There you go. Can you guys see that a little better now? Here, we'll give it a little more hit. Just want to get the blue a little bit cleaner for camera. Cool. The powder's a little bit better, but you should be able to see it. Let me go the top down here. How's that? You see that a little bit better? Let's try to adjust. Oops. Adjust this one. Take that off. Tweak this camera just a little bit so it's straight. There you go. Oh, Simon, yeah, I am too, man. I got into it when I started doing some work with Iwata for the new New Worlds paint, which is for tabletop miniature stuff. So I got into it doing that. And now, you know, Leviathan came out, and now I'm really into it. So definitely gonna start doing some other stuff. There's some great guys online too doing it. So I learned a lot of stuff I didn't know. Even though I'm a professional motorcycle painter and artist, it's a different world. And I've done models most of my life too, but mini is a whole other thing. All right, so how I'm going to do this is I want to backlight this. So I'm going to have all the fire and glow in the background. I want that white hot blue glow. Then what I'm going to do is we're going to do the fire coming out of the mouth, like basically coming like this, is what that's going to be doing. So what's going to happen is it's going to be very bright back here. And so the sides of the turret will be lit. This side will be lit heavier because the fire is going to kind of roll up and roll around him. The castle itself and the dragon will be mostly in black. Okay, so they'll be kind of in silhouette. So the only reason they're going to be lit is going to be lit by the fire glow. So we're going to work in different levels. So the first thing I'm going to be taking off is this area, which is the background. And I'll probably take out these. I'll have some glow in here. Yeah, I'm going to have some glow in there. I'll be taking this stuff out because that's holes looking through. So I'll be taking this stuff out of the mask right now. And I'll work down here after. I want to get this fire glow. And then I'm going to be coming out the mouth here in this area. I'll be taking this out. Alright, just to establish everything before I start doing the light. The actual last thing that's going to be done is the chains. And if you notice what I did is I framed the panel, like you're looking through a picture frame, but the chains come outside of it. Just gives you a really cool depth of field. Like I said, I'm going to be taking my time with this. I'm recording it. And this will be like a two-parter. So it's definitely going to go into next week. So we're going to take our time and make things really, really cool. We have a bid. I think that's a bid. Honey, I'm going to call it $250 because you already did the 20. So if anyone wants to outbid you, that's what they have to do. So I'm going to put your $230 on top of that. Okay, I don't want to try to do too much of that math tonight, but thank you. Much appreciated, and we'll see where this thing goes. Like I said, these are size 1-to-1, so I can cut these for loose stencils later. All right, so I'm going to use my pick tool here, and hopefully my paint was dry before with the mask on. I base coated this about 2 hours ago. No problem. That's why when people say they have issues with paint peeling, it's like, guys, if you paint right, your temperatures are right, you take your time, no problems. No problems. Jarko, thank you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate that. So I see now we got the nice background silhouette. That's going to frame the sky out. I'm going to pull these. I'm going to save them just in case. Super simple. I said this download's available right now. It's a $30 download. But if you guys are a YouTube member, you get 20% off. So maybe just over 20 bucks. And you get both versions of this with the brick, without the brick, and then you get the pattern as well. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right, there we go. I'm going to start with a gray, and then I'll put white on top of it to brighten it up, because I'm going to build a tonal gray piece tonight, and see how far we get. The next week I'll bring in the color. I'm still unsure if I'm going to do blue or I'm going to do a different color. So we'll see. Oh, I forgot this little guy right here. That's his back. If you look at it, his body rolls around. It's actually twisting this way. So this is spine. His back goes down here. And that's why this wing is higher than this one, because he's at a pitch. Because he's just coming in. He's blowing the castle door open. You know, or he's inside the castle and people trying to get in, because this is kind of the drawbridge. However you want to story tell it. I use a camel ceiling out and I draw them design. It wants to double cut each line. Is that normal? Depends how you do it. So, Vic, if it's my files doing it, it shouldn't be doing it. Let me know. Might be a setting. If you are doing a vector trace, like if you're putting an image in and saying trace it, what you have to remember is that is tracing both sides of the line. And it's tracing the inner shape and the outer shape, so you're always going to get double cuts if you use a trace feature and don't know how to clean it up. So, yeah, that's kind of a problem with any program. But if you're double cutting on any of my downloads, that really shouldn't be doing it. Let me know. All right. Darren Martin, what's happening, sir? Alright, so I'm using Createx Wicked. And for this background, I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I'm going to grab a little Mike LaValle Fire curve here. And maybe a FH1, a little OG. And I want the fire kind of rolling this way. Yeah, I'll switch back to this. So, I'm going to keep it real simple. And this is gray, so this is going to be mostly a glow. And I got this mix pretty thick. Probably a little too thick, actually. Oh yeah, I was going with the castle either way. It was just whether it was going to be like a smooth, like fancy castle, like kind of high fantasy, or if it was going to be that gothic big brick castle. That was kind of the deciding point. What size is Joe Woodward? Joe, the panel is a 12 by 18 panel. Yeah, Simon's pretty much got it on the nose. Okay, we're keeping this really loose here. And we'll get some like big sparks going up here like this. For these little sparks I'm doing, I could actually wipe some of them like that's embers burning. All I'm doing is I'm pulling back the trigger and letting it spit. And just giving a little something. But keep this really loose. If you follow along, don't stress too much. Don't overdo too many stencils. Because I'm even doing a little too much here. They're a little too big. Like, I gotta make these a little smaller. So I gotta do more, a little bit more line work in there. And I'll be able to kill some of that down later. But this is just about kind of establishing that background color. Now, The other thing is don't overflood your stencils. You don't want to like paint a ton right here and get it kind of oversaturated. So same thing here. I'm just going to do little, let the little fires burn it in here. Just keeping it really simple. Back here is just a glow. That's looking through his wing. Okay, that's what's going on in here. Yep, the old castle stone's what I went with. But like I said, I did it 2 ways in case you did, if you want to do a simpler version. I'm only at about 35 psi. That's typically where I spray when I'm doing illustration work. Sometimes I'm spray higher. And you can never really go by sound on online videos just because, you know. I have a Cricut. I had trouble splitting the 2 parts of the Cyber download. Give me a buzz of that. The Cyber, there should be a sized one on Cyber that's just for the Cricut. It's a small one. It's set up as a 9x12 or 9x13. And then you can have to repeat from there. It was the only issue with the Cricut. I mean, remember the Cricut and Cameos, they're small. So, you know, to do it within 1 page, it's a little tricky. But you should have the isolated file, which is just the basic repeat. And then that can be put into the pattern itself. Like it gets a little trickier, but I know in that file set, you can message me afterwards or tomorrow and I can take a look. There is the core repeat file, which is one part of the shape, which will just repeat over and over again. So yes, the only drawback to the Cricuts and the Cameos is they're small. Like on a large plotter, I can cut a whole sheet. Terrence Phillip, what's going on? Eric Silverio's over here. What's going on, buddy? Like I said, so this is just getting the background in. Alright. Let's see. Before I do that... Ooh, just heard a big firecracker go off. Or a bomb. Eric, did you hear that? Or is that you? Alright, so I'm going to take my white now. I'm just going to give it a little brighter tone here. No problem, Robert. Yeah, I know in all those files there should be the base repeat. That base repeat should help you out. Because trying to split the files is pretty easy in like Adobe, but in Cricut and Cameo, the software is a little janky for something like that. I'm going to pull out Pocket Graphics here, my little guys. Where's Pyro? Always was Pyro. I double it up in another case. I do have quite a few. Warlock's here? Where's Warlock? There he is. What's going on, buddy? There we go. Darren Martin. Thank you, brother. I'm going to give you a big old shout out. Big crowd cheer. A little slot machine action. Thank you, sir. That's number 5. Thank you, sir. Any bids? Yes, there is a bid right now. The overtake amount would be $250 because Honey did a $230 and a $20 super chat. So we're going to keep that as a $250. If anyone wants to overtake that bid, it's going to be there. All right, so we have our Pyro, Pocket Graphics Pyro. This is my favorite little guy. Now I'm going to be able to come in here with white and start making little fire. Okay, the background's just kind of the set. So now I can work within that. Let me zoom back in. So now you can see what I'm doing. Now I'm staying within the fire. I can still put some spitting. Yeah, some things like that. And I'm doing mostly freehand, little wisps of fire coming off the castle. I want to make the fire scale smaller, okay? That's what I'm going for here. And I'm really working this background because it's going to be really the brightest part. Honey, I got some shipments coming to you soon too. I am so behind on panels, and I feel like an ass because I got a bunch coming to you. I got some coming to Gary. I got a lot to get out, and now everything's been cleared twice, which is nice. So it's gonna be, the clear is gonna be super deep on it. I appreciate the patience, but I still need to get my ass in gear. And Kaylee's exhausted tonight, so she is not here with us, but she is downstairs in the house catching up on much needed projects. And she's been doing all her college application stuff and getting that stuff in, and she's already got some acceptance letters, which is awesome. So, very proud of her. It used to be Darren. Come on now, keep it clean. As soon as I said Kaylee wasn't here, I was a fluffer. Did you work with my old handyman? I meant buffer, damn it. Yeah, sure you did. I think you meant fluffer. What do you all think? Alright, so now this has got a lot. And this has a lot of tone, so I can come in later with color and we can do some stuff. Alright, where do I want to go now? Where do I want to go now? So if your wicked white's grainy, your pressure is either too low or you're not reduced enough. So I'm doing wicked opaque white, which is the thickest, and I'm at 35 to under 40 psi. I got about 10% reduction on it. And I was reduced first. You always put reducer in your cup first, or mix in one of these and let it sit for a little bit. And this is actually now going through a micron, so it has to be even reduced more. Thanks, man. All right, so where am I gonna go? Oh, you know what I gotta do? Yeah. You watch this happen live. I gotta just determine whether I want to do the fire back here around him, around his body. Yeah, I'm gonna, because that is foreground, background. We're gonna work background and foreground. So yeah, so I'm gonna pull this out. Oh, if you've downloaded this, I'm probably gonna do a correction tonight or tomorrow. You almost need to have, I need to have another cut line right here. That meets up to this, and it's going to be kind of rough, and that's what it's supposed to be, so I'm going to have to add this cut. That way when this pulls out, it leaves the border everywhere. Sonny, you're on live. Congratulations. Can you just... Oh, yeah, you can reduce the white a lot. Like, I mean, I've gone even higher than 50%. But if you do 50%, now you got to dial back your pressure, because now your chances are you're going to be way too much. It's going to be way too much pressure. So I always try to find that balance between... I want big coverage, so big coverage means less reduction. Less reduction means more pressure. I don't put 40-50 in the wicked opaque because it already has it in it. You don't need to put it in it. If I was using illustration opaque, 40-50 for sure. But the wicked opaque itself, you don't really need to. You could add a little more in for some security, but you don't need it. All right, so that's kind of behind his mouth. And I'm going to grab here, which is the wings themselves, like the actual wing membrane. You know, this is the arm of the wing. This is the membrane of the wing. You know, the part that makes it fly. Oh yeah, yeah, man. You can totally do, like, I have gone ridiculously low on, you know, paint to reduction. So like, yeah, like 50 to 80%. I don't need to as much with it. I find that once you're around 40 or 50%, it's really thin. So I don't think it's too necessary to go too much lower than that. But it's a case-by-case basis. You know, even when I'm painting like my minifigures, like Warhammer stuff, I'm reducing probably about 20-30%. And that depends on the colors too. But I haven't really finished painting many of my minis other than just getting them primed and, you know, toned with white and gray. Well, the chat might be on a delay, because I'm on a delay from what I'm seeing it. But you may have to back out and come back in, if that's a problem. Anyone else have an audio delay issue? I mean, there obviously is going to be... There's probably about a 20-second delay from the comment to what I see. Alright, so I'm not going to put too much in here right now, because I don't want to, like, I don't want to kill it. Where did my... Because we're going to be doing the majority of the fire later, so I'm just kind of... This is more of a glow, so I am going to reduce this. Hit the floor. My cap hit the floor, sorry. I'm going to reduce this a little more. And you guys, if you guys are solvent guys going into water-based, and this still took a while for me to set in, you have to remember reducer in water-based takes a little bit of time. It doesn't happen as fast as solvent. It's got a little bit of a delay, it has a little bit of an induction incubation period. So you're going to let that kind of happen, or you'll end up over-reducing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just doing this glow. I know the fire is going to come up the sides of the buildings. And really back here, it's just going to be like fires burning. There's more of a glow behind them, but I'm trying not to do too much back here because I want to be able to like bring it up softly. And I want to be able to get some dragon scales in here. So you're not going to, at this scale, you're not going to see too many individual scales. You'll see some bumps, so I'm just going to register a few of them in, like this, in the back. But you're not going to see much, it's just going to be a little bit. Oh no, I have like a 1-inch thick carpeted foam mat on the floor. So at 20 feet, 20 psi, 20% reduction, 40 to 11, drop the pressure. You're going to raise the pressure. There's a big misnomer, and there's a couple YouTube videos that are incorrect that really, really bothers me. This is going to be a 2-second break. I'm going to describe the actual functions of an airbrush and how it works, because a lot of people don't get it. And there's people online that have done videos that are incorrect, so because they think it's like a hydraulic pressure system, and it's not. This is your airbrush. This is your air body. This is the hose that comes in. You got your nozzle here. This is not to scale, and you got your paint reservoir here, or some paints you have down here. You're pulling from, a bottle. Okay, this is gravity, siphon. And then you have your nozzle which has the air cap, okay? So most people understand it, but some people mistake it. They think the air comes in. You have your needle, obviously, okay? They think the air comes up through here and goes behind the needle and pushes the paint out the cap. That's not how airbrushes work. That would be a hydraulic pressure system, okay? Then air pressure wouldn't matter as much. This is not how any current airbrushes works. And I see one guy go, oh, siphon ones work one way and these ones work the other. No, they don't. How it really works is this air body, when you push down a trigger, this air body opens a valve and there's an air channel here. The air channel actually runs under all this stuff and runs inside here. What happens is the air comes out like this and pressurizes around the cap. And what it does, it actually sucks the paint out from here. It pulls the paint. This is where it's coming from. It's actually pulling the paint out of the nozzle and pushing it. The only hydraulic pressure is from this point forward, okay? So what happens is, if your paint's thick, you need more pressure to pull it off the needle. Okay? It's, you know, if you do too much, it's obviously, it's going to have a blowout. But, you know, you got to remember, the air is actually siphoning it off. It's actually pulling it. It's drawing it into this way. It's not actually pushing the paint. So it's drawing it out from the nozzle, then pushing it forward. It's not pushing it through the nozzle. So, Airbrush 101, how it works. And what happens with these, it's not even push on a siphon feed. People think the air is actually pushing off out of here. No, this action is actually pulling, this draw action is actually pulling the paint forward out of here, which is why it takes more pressure for a siphon feed, because it has to suck it up the straw versus the gravity feed, which comes down here. Okay, it's really bad. It's really basic, but yeah, I'm gonna have to put that in a basic clip. I should do that because there's some videos on there that are just wrong. I found one that's like, oh yeah, this airbrush, it draws the paint, and this one it pushes from behind the paint. It never pushes from behind the paint. Okay, cool. That's my PSA. What I missed? I missed a bunch of stuff while I was rambling there. This is a great demo. Marshall, thank you for that. 39 kind of wicked comes. Cool. Oh, you had COVID again? Oh, man, that sucks. Sorry, brother. We've had some family members that had it. I had it a few months back again. It sucked. Let's go YouTube. Venturi effect is the reproduction in fluid pressure that results when the fluid flows through the section or choke. Yes, exactly. So it's not, you know, people think it's pushing the paint from behind the fluid. It's not. You know, if that was the case, man, we'd just have straight streams of, the paint would just come out like a stream. It wouldn't come out as an atomized spray. It could be. The other thing too is strain it, Vic. I have a video on how to make a simple strainer, which everyone's really watched. It's based on how to make a little strainer like this with a tobacco strainer. So typically what I do, especially my white, is I mix it really good, shake it really good. I reduce it in one of these, and then I strain it again through one of these into another one of these or into the cup. If it's still doing it after that, then you might have some bad paint. But yeah, this video, I got a video on straining it. See if I can find a link. If Kaylee was up here, I'd have her post a link. Thank you, Dan. I will actually have to look up that link and just see how it's described. But yeah, I was online. This one guy was arguing me that air pressure doesn't matter. Like, you know, thicker paint shouldn't require more air pressure. He's like, it should be the opposite because of hydraulic effects. Airbrushes are not hydraulic systems. Hydraulic systems are very different than airbrush systems. Okay, so Yeah, I try to get as much info as I can. Keep your air on. Yes. Alright, so for the wings, I'm going to use my favorite little stencil. Y'all know what's about to come out. Y'all know what's about to come out. For wing membranes, rule 1, this. Yes, rule 1, keep your air on. Rule 2, always strain your paint. Yes. I don't know how many airbrush artists or mini painters or modelers or anyone who's not an automotive painter argue with me over I shouldn't have to strain my paints. Why the hell would you think you don't have to strain your paints? Why? You're taking paint which is a lot of opaque colors are pretty heavy particle paint. And I understand when it's a brand new bottle, you're probably fine getting away with it. But once you crack that bottle and start dumping paint and mixing paint and dumping paint, there's air getting in that bottle. Therefore, you have a little bit of drying going on over time. Especially some of these guys, you're using the paint for like 6 months to a year out of a bottle. You don't think you're going to get a couple dry spots here and there, or you're going to get little crusties around the cap. Just strain it. It's no big deal. It just makes things work. As an automotive painter, you wouldn't dare go to a spray booth with a car color mix without actually straining it into the color cup, without straining your clear, without straining your base coat. Because the other thing too is with base coats especially, or like metallics and pearls, the act of straining actually helps to break apart the particles, let them come back together, thus mixing them and letting things kind of even out, so you don't get like heavy spots or like flaky spots. And just strain it, man. Takes 2 seconds. Easy, easy. That's my bitch session. All right. Don Spinny, what's happening, brother? I love that you switch to direct camera and throw down a question about straining. Strain your paint, fight me. Exactly. Fight me on it. Exactly. So, my favorite template. I gotta do a video on this one day, just how I do this. Okay? Still, to this day, one of my favorite templates I've ever made. I make dozens of them. This one's going up. I mean, this particular one, 5 years old. It's freaking hot glue, man. That's it. Look at this shit. It's hot glue. It's the right type of hot glue. I can never figure out which one actually works, so I usually just grab a whole bunch of it from different stores. Because I find the industrial stuff's too brittle, and a lot of the crafty stuff's too wiggly. This is like kind of in between, and it just holds up great. And it's going to be great for doing these wings. Because I'm just going to go like that. I'm going to go like, and bam, we have wings. Wing membranes. Just like that, done. See you later, bye. That's all you need. I originally did this for my Magnum, my show car. If you look at the silver painted areas, all the silver has this kind of cool pattern to it. And this is how I did it. That's it. Strain everything except flake. I still strain. Okay, so I still strain the clear to make sure there's no dry particles. You can't strain big flake, obviously, but I do strain the carrier. But yeah, you can't strain big flake, and big flake is basically just putting dirt on wet clear. Just sparkly, fun dirt. $1 million tip. You know, I was gonna develop like a how-to and a kit you could buy with the right glue stencils, and it just wasn't worth the time to develop it. And well, I know guys could just go to Home Depot and do it, and I'm gonna try to sell them a kit. And some people get it, the other people will just copy it anyway, so I never did it. But I need to do a video on it, you know, how I make it. If you guys are interested in that, let me know. I'm just doing some kind of pulls around these holes here. And then we're going to have some fire. Some fire! There are stupid people everywhere, yep. Dude, I'm gonna tell you, it's been funny, and I don't know why I've been hooked on it lately. You know, because I work on my home property, so I come in, I sit at my kitchen table for lunch and stuff. I turn on the TV. Yeah, I'm on fucking. Sorry, I'm gonna get demonetized for that. No, I won't. But I've been hooked on Court TV network. Like, there's a network now which is just Court TV all day. All day, it's just different Court TVs, and man, you want to see stupid. You want to see funny, like smack yourself in the face, like really? People really can't think like this? Watch some of that Court TV shit. It's hilarious. I swear half of them might be just actors. I wouldn't be surprised. Is there a good way to airbrush onto wrap vinyl, signed vinyl? There is actually. If you're using ink receptive vinyl, paint receptive vinyl, you can airbrush on it. I've done it a bunch of times actually. I've actually base coated and done it right on the vinyl. We did a whole series for NASCAR. Me, Rhino, and Jeff Stiles did a NASCAR hood, and they wrapped it in vinyl first for the white, and then we base coated right over it. So we're using solvents. I haven't done it with water-based, but you still should be able to as long as you can get that kind of bite. I forget, I don't have the link to DreadFX's channel, but I think it was DreadFX who just did a how-to video on that, specifically. No, they are that stupid in court, not acting, man. It's, yeah, man, Court TV. Court TV, man. It's like a guilty pleasure. It makes me feel so much better about myself. So now me and Crystal watch it, like some of the old Judge Judy stuff, and it's just a riot. It's just a riot. It's like, you people really think that way. I'm just doing some extra spatter in here just to get that kind of fire. You're welcome, Sam. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure DreadFX's YouTube channel just did a how-to on it. Alright, so... Alright, you know what I can do first? I can do these, the body of the wings here, just kind of get those established. I'm going to show you a nice trick for these too. So these you kind of pull up halfway, and you'll see they just, I pulled that extra piece of vinyl, just gotta tuck that, just tuck that back in. The stencil I really like for this, if I can find it. Oh yeah, right here. Dennis Matheson's Bubble Effects. It's an old template, but aside from bubbles, it makes bitchin' dragon scales. Watch this. Watch right here. A little quick mist, and then I'm going to highlight. Just do little highlights. Let the overspray get there. And you get nice dragon scales. And then I can pull the rest off like this and continue that on. And now I get that really cool dragon scale. Here's a link for the vinyl from Dread. Okay. Cool. Just a way to put some simple dragon scales. It's not too crazy. Just a mist. And then your high spot, your highlight. Basically wherever your fires come from. This fire's coming a little bit from behind and over the top of them. So the highlights are going to stay on top. If I was doing a full uplight fire, then I would put the highlights down the bottom. Jarko, thank you for popping in. Whoop, need a third hand. Coast doesn't offer those anymore. I don't know if they're in production anymore. I really don't know. They might just be, if they're not offering, they might just be on like a long back order. But they have cleaned out a lot that just, a lot of people weren't using. That might not be available for a while. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I got mine. So I'm just going to highlight across the top of that. And see, that's just established now as the kind of back shoulders. And they come right in here. Alright, so I got you. Oh, I'm dreading this next part, people. I'm dreading this next part, and I hate the fact that you're going to have to watch it, but you all wanted the brick. You all asked for the stone. There's only one way to do the stone. Right? I was going to, and I still may, for those who download it, because right now when you cut this, is like this one here, it goes here, 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 and stops against the chain. Because basically this brick used to go through, so I cut them all back. What I might do is make a stencil that's got the full shape, so you can actually cut it as a hard template out of like a Cricut and just overlay it. I'm going to try to do that, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. So the interim, you get to watch this madness, which is pulling off brick by brick. This is where I wish Kaylee was here, because it's going to be hard for you to watch. This is where editing is going to come in later, where I can edit the video to this at a high speed. But all you live guys, you're going to have to watch it, because I have no other damn choice but to do it like this. Because I want to highlight the brick. If I wanted to highlight the mortar and make that, like, make the brick look black, I could do the mortar. But it wouldn't really be that way. The mortar should be darker because it's inside. So, but projects like this teaches you patience. You get really good at picking. You get really good at not picking through your base coat either, because this has base coat on it, and I'm trying not to pick through it. This is also a good example of, let's talk about pricing, people. Let's talk. You're going to love this switch. Let's talk about pricing. Customer wants a castle with a dragon. And I ask, cool. Do you want the dragon, the castle, high fantasy and smooth? Or do you want gothic and brick? Ooh, I want gothic and brick. That's $1,000 more. What? Well, gothic and brick means I have to design and pick every single brick one by one, and that takes hours. High fantasy, it's just kind of smooth, and I can just airbrush a little bit of, like there's a little texture in there, and it'll take me half the time. So you are paying for time. So therefore, this would be the more expensive version. And I explain that to customers ahead of time so they don't get surprised. That's always the big key too. Like a lot of artists make that mistake is, oh, I want to do the castle. I didn't think the brick's going to take this long. I need another $1,000. Well, you didn't tell me that ahead of time. And the customer's like, sorry, I'm not paying that. And he's kind of right, because you didn't tell me ahead of time. So when you have to do big repetitive patterns like this, you got to talk about it ahead of time, okay? This is another fight me on it, because I know artists who've tried to do it the other way. It doesn't work, and it shouldn't, because you should know better. All right? So that's why when I put this on there, and everyone said, oh, I want brick. I want the big stone, gothic. I said, cool. It's going to be now a 2-part video, because there's no way I can do this whole thing in 2 hours with the brick. Because if we're at 1 hour for the background, if I was doing high fantasy, I could pull the towers, shade them, do a little bricky kind of texture, fun and smooth, and get out of the shades and be done. I'd already be, I think by the time I did the discussion, I'd already have both turrets done. Just FYI. And I don't mind doing it because it's going to be a really cool piece when it's done. But understanding this as a lesson, a teachable moment, this is when you want to paint. Yeah, it's just a matter of if they have it available in stock. So the problem is if the supply chain doesn't have them, it doesn't matter who says they have them on their website. If they're not in the country, they're not in the country. So, and I know it's kind of an older template that hasn't been really heavily used. So it could be available. You can check, if Coast doesn't have it, definitely check Spray Gunner. You can definitely check some people online and see if they got them. I've been trying to convince Art Tool for years that if they're going to retire an old stencil that's not being used anymore, they should put it out for download, just sell a download for it. So those of us with machines can just cut our own versions of it. Isn't there a template for textures like what? There's not a brick texture that is going to be specifically curved to this image. Yeah. But I get it. But yeah, so just one at a time. I mean, it doesn't take long. And I'm not saying this painting, this much brick, would be $1,000 extra for this size painting. But if you're doing a whole bike with bricks everywhere, or a whole truck, yeah, price accordingly, guys. Because, like, even though this is going to take me like 10 minutes or so to weed per probably side, on a full-scale truck, it would take, you know, it could take you a day or two. I've seen it. I've done it. And I've done it without pricing it properly and losing my you-know-what. So I'm trying to let my mistakes prevent you from making them. That's where experience comes in. But, I mean, it didn't take long, but the payoff's going to be amazing. But if I can make this a hard stencil, but again, I mean, hard stencil is great if you're going to be doing this if you're going to paint this painting over and over and over again. But, but you can see this simple file. So if you go download this file, it comes with the brick pattern. Let me see, can I bring up that reference image? Here, I have a different one, I thought. Title screen. Title screen. Okay, so if you look up at the top right of the screen, you see that pattern. That brick pattern is all I used to do all these turrets and all the castle walls. And basically what I did is, for the towers, I stacked them on top of each other, and then I did a radius curve to give it the radius. Then I put it in perspective, and then I tweaked it to fit each tower. Then I erased where it didn't need to be. And then I did another version for each left and right of the castle wall flat at perspective. Then I did the walkway. It's all done with that one pattern. So that one pattern, man, dude, I've used that on so many Gothic paintings over the years. Not just this bike version. I used it on so many. It's crazy how many I used it on. So that file alone is worth the price of admission. Just more. Yeah, if this is stuff you do for yourself, then obviously it doesn't matter. I'm just talking from a practical. If you're trying to do this professionally for customers to make money, This option takes you longer, so make sure that you factor a few more hours into your budget. Because let's say, I typically work between 100 and a half an hour, 100 and a half an hour for most of my work. So if this took me 5 extra hours on a bike and I didn't like tell a customer that, I lost 500. I gave that customer $500 worth of work. And it's not his fault. I did it to myself. Vic, that was a Dennis Masterson template. And that side's done. That looks cool though. Right? Good, now I gotta do this side. Hold on, I need a drink. Cheers. Here's a minifig I painted. Oh, yeah. Oh, the beholder. Oh. And then I just did another version of him. This is going to be part of the Createx video. In a brighter color variant that I'm doing. I started him. With all little eyeballs. This was a Christmas one I started. This was a cool one. It's like a cool little gob. I forget the name of it, but it's really cool. It's like a Christmas one. I need to finish it. But I have hundreds of, well, not hundreds, but dozens and dozens of other figures that I gotta finish. With the next customer, he would... Yeah, exactly. You just gotta make sure you price properly, because now you don't want to get 20 customers that expect you to do that much work for the price you just did it for the last guy. So you got to make sure that you say, oh yeah, I can definitely do that work, but this is going to be the price to do that. Oh, but you charged my buddy this. Yeah, well, that was the first time I did it. Your buddy's was a learning curve. If you want the same thing, this is the price. Sorry. And then they say, I want the smooth castle. And it's fine. CAD Eagles. This is Gary. My Google account got switched when I added a 40 steps. Hey, what's going on, Chad? Chad. Welcome, sir. Happy New Year. You need to learn how to remove the brick pattern from inside of the chain in the vector stage. Not that exactly, but the method. Oh, I have a really easy way to do that. It still takes a little time, but I think I did it before, but it's an old video. A plugin I did by Astute Graphics, which allows me to basically go in and just go, anytime there's a crossover, like there's a crossover and a line go through, you go click, and it just automatically erases it to the adjacent path. I'll have to do a video of that, Simon. I'm going to show you how I did it. That's the other thing. I got to get my vector how-to set this year, and I think that's going to be a members-only section. Because for some reason, when I do them online, people don't watch them, very much. So I might as well make it for my paid members only, so they get the benefit of that knowledge, and everyone else can just learn on their own, since they don't want to watch the videos anyway. Gotta figure how to get my account back. Oof. Well, you should just be able to go to your Google management and bring up your Gary Shees Gmail, if you had a Gmail one, and hook it back up through that. Google can be confusing when you got a bunch of multiple platforms happening. It took me a while to get mine sorted out as well. If you only have the iPad for vector program, then yeah, you can. If you use an Illustrator, yeah, there's no really easy way to do it on that. And I know the Astute plugin does not work on the iPad app. would be awesome. So the only way to do it then is really the eraser or the scissor tool, and you got to click, click, and then drag the points so they don't intersect anymore. I don't know why Illustrator themselves doesn't have a shortcut for it, but they just don't really care. They don't need to, because most people use Illustrator for design and not plotting, so they just kind of let the plugins handle it. I'll have to revisit the Adobe side. There might be a way to do it easier now. I do have a lot of tricks where I do, like, if you drop things in the right layers on different colors, and then you can do a unite versus break apart, and then a grouping, and then select by color, and then unite from there. There's a bunch of ways to do that. That helps with a lot of these. I know what I just said probably went over most people's heads, but I've done some videos on that as well. Oh yeah, you got to use the scissors tool for that stuff, because you can just click and separate the shape, and then so you can, like, say if I had this line. Say if I had a line like this, a box, and a line came through like this, and I want to delete this one, I just take the scissor, click here, and then delete this, and then I can just use the little white arrow and move this point so it sits here, and then it's clean inside here. That's the way you do it, but I have that plug-in which just goes click, click, and it's done. Route 22 Total Customs, what's going on, man? Thank you for popping in. Happy New Year. Thank you. Still got a bunch of members in here. For you guys who don't know, if you're new to the channel, these are our lovely members supporting. If you click that link, you can join up. That gets you 20% off all vector downloads on McKayFineArt.com, which is... Where's the link to that? I can't find my store link. Oh, wow. Store link, right there. So you go there, and you get 20% off this file, every other file. So this file is a $30 download, so 32. So you get $6 off it. So it's a $24 file to download this project. And this comes with both variants and the brick pattern. Which honestly, the brick pattern is worth it alone. And this is for every file type. It'll work on Adobe Illustrator, it'll work in FlexiSign, it'll work in Cricut, it'll work in Cameo. But see, we're on 15 minutes on this, and I'm talking, yes, but I still have more to go. And this is one of those things, it's like, half an hour, 40 minutes of picking. And it'll be like 5 minutes of spraying. Now this will make a really cool how-to video, though. It's like being a member. You got 5 months? Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, I'm definitely gonna be adding more content this year, because I can already tell the bike season is gonna be slow, so I gotta add some more other stuff. So thank you for all the support, and that's gonna keep this channel rolling. Hopefully, keep my bills paid, and I can keep developing content. There's always motorcycle and custom paint work, but I can feel this year is going to be a little slower. I notice it by the trends, what's happened already, and I can just feel a little bit of slowing in the area. Every area is different, but I can feel it around here. It's a little slower than previous years. Mike Manning. You're the man, Ning. Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alright, so we got the towers. And cowbell, yep. I'm in the zone. I was gonna just paint and then pick these ones, but you know what? I'm in the zone. I might as well just do it. Because I think we can get most of the white work done here. And then we will save this till next week. Start doing the color and tone. So the cool thing is, if any of you guys want to do this project, you can go download this after. Base coat a 12 by 18 inch panel. Cut this out. Maybe do some printing so you have the paper cut versions as well. And you can get to this same point by next week and we can finish off together. You know, I wanted to start this year with a good sized project. And being the year of the dragon, this is 2024. I was actually having dreams about this. Like, what am I going to paint? I had no idea this morning when I got up. I was running through my head. What am I going to paint? What am I going to paint? And I said to myself, like, what year, what Chinese zodiac is it? And whatever that is what my first project is going to be. And it was Year of the Dragon. So I'm like, I can do a Chinese dragon. I can use my other kit. I'm like, I don't want to do a Chinese dragon. I've already done a Chinese dragon on the channel. I think Gary has that one. Which was a fun piece, but I've already kind of done it. And I wanted to do something, vector-based. As I said, my goal was to originally do this I was going to do this originally for half off. If I hit 10,000. I didn't hit 10,000. I got some other plans when we do hit 10,000. There'll still be some goodies given away. Mike Gillette down in Dirty Trickster, thank you, sir. Get some people back in the game. Cool, cool, cool. Now the other way to do this project is to do the non-brick version to start. And then you can plot the brick version and then weed it off it and just kind of do it as an overlay. That's the other way to do it, but it's kind of 6 of one, half dozen of another. You're still picking and weeding. At least this way now the registration is perfect. Still faster than doing it by hand, because when I've done these before in the past, I've hand cut every flippin' brick, or just freehand airbrushed every brick. Like, that's something Fido would do. Fido would be doing all these bricks by hand because he's crazy and he's amazing. But he's still crazy. I don't want to hand cut that many bricks anymore. I'm too old for this. Yeah, what I mean, the chain is like the really last thing to do. That might be even after I do the color, I'll do the chains last, just so they have the biggest pop. Because them having the biggest pop and also the darkest, it really gives you that perspective. I forget who said it on my Facebook. They said it kind of reminds me of Castle Grayskull. And it kind of does have that towering feel of Castle Grayskull, that scene. The I Have the Power scene. And it's kind of what I was going for. I think there should be a rook right here. All these little things, I'll probably go, like I said, I'll go in and I'll readjust the file. So if you see I missed something, you're gonna let me know. Like right here, it just looks like it should be here and here, just to sell that brick. No one would probably ever notice it. Chaotic airbrush, election years. Yeah, no, it's true, man. Although it would drive me crazy. Yeah, no, I know it does. Election years are always like this. Yeah, and I remember it. You know, I've been doing this full time for, you know, since 2000 when I started full time. And yeah, I can tell you, almost every election cycle year, things are a little tighter. And I don't want to get into politics at all, so let's please not. It doesn't matter what side's in, what side's out. There's always just a tightening of finances that year because people just are unsure which way they're going to go. And so it happens all the time. Oh, dude, you had to say a brick in the wall. I should have made a prize for whoever said that first. Good night, man. Virgilia, thank you for popping in. Appreciate it. Yeah, there's a couple little bricks here I didn't add in. That would be nice to have. So I'll go back in. And for those who have not downloaded files from me before, I do regularly go in and find a correction, or I might need to do a little something to a file. Or sometimes just I do another file that's similar, and I just add it to the file set so it's a free download, re-download. And you'll get an email that says, you know, this has been updated. So definitely don't unsubscribe, because if you do on the store channel, when I do updates, you won't get those notifications. But I don't spam people, because I hate that shit. Alright, what do you guys think? It looks like brick, huh? It's a great, yeah. You know, and just the template itself, like I said, that square, you can stretch it, manipulate it a lot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stipple it first, just by hand. I'm gonna go back to my gray. And I'm going to go to actually a darker gray. I got this dark. I made 3 different grays. I made this one. It's just white and black. So I had a pure white, a light gray, and a dark gray. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the dark gray. And I'm going to just do a little bit of quick stippling. Okay. And I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to put my hand, I'm going to pull back the trigger, I'm going to spit. Let's see if I can zoom in on this here. I don't know if this camera's going to be able to catch it, but let's see. I'm going to have to brighten up the... There we go. You know what, let me do a little bit of brightening on the eyes. There we go. How's that? Better? Here we go. Oh, I did. Alright, so see what I'm doing. I'm going to pull back the trigger. I'm going to pull my hand, pull back the trigger, and spit. You could also do the popsicle stick trick here, but that gets a little, it can be too random. Whoa. It's alright. Just gonna be stone anyway. It's more important down the bottom here to have some bigger stone kind of hits. Yeah, most people would paint the chain first because it's foreground. And if we're on a white surface, you could maybe go that way, but... yeah, sometimes it is little things like that that just help you realize, oh, by painting this order, it's much more dramatic effect, and it's way easier. And I'm going to switch out to a multi. Why did I do that? Exactly, freehand shield. Oh, see? Just... so now, I'll probably do the same thing. So now I'm going to just lightly tone, super light. Super light. It's just enough to establish a little color. So that way, the background color, when I pull the mortar, which is next, you'll see that delineation. So I'm just hitting that a little bit. And now I'm going to switch to my white. Now I'm going to do some white speckle, same thing, just less of it. Again. You know, you could also get in here with like Tommy Ham, some of his stencils. You know, you could actually use some of the skin stencils or the ones from True Blair as well, and do little things like textures as well. Okay, so now I'm going to do, let me go back. I'm going to fix my camera angle. Back to top down. I'm going to zoom back out here. Come back in. There we go. Alright. Fire's here. And he's going to be blasting out of this side. So this side's going to... Both are going to get that cylindrical shading. It's going to be bright here. But this side and here I want more. Because the fire's coming over the side. So I want to really make this brighter. So all I'm going to do is we're going to come up and kind of do a brighter shade up this side like this, right? Just straight up cylindrical. There'll be a little bit of casting light back here. But I just want to hit that, and this side I'm going to hit it a little bit less to this side. That's it. A little bit here, a little bit there. And same thing here. Fire here, brighter on this side and that side. See what I'm doing? And now I'm going to tone the edge of the brick. I'm going to hit like bright spots on all the bricks that are within that highlight area. And you see that's going to help shade it. And give it that really hot feel. Even some of these, I'll just hit little bits on each brick. Little bits here. I'm going to do them bright here. Can you tell me why I'm doing it bright there and here? Anyone figure out what that is right there? Freehand some of the corners of the bricks. Yeah, exactly. And when I come in here later, I'll do like shadows down this side and really start to shape these bricks out. And I'll even shape the mortar out a little bit later too. Oh, at this point, I need to make sure that in between the links are all pulled out. So the chain itself is just there. And there's a bunch of little pieces to pull. And this is going to take some looking on everyone's part. That gets pulled out. Yeah. So I got one more to pull out after that's done. And then we can do the rest of the highlighting. Alright. Fire sticks, exactly! Yes. So, at the end, these black sticks will stay, and then I'll put bright fire just off the end. So that's why I put a little glow on the castle wall now, right here and here. So the fire sticks will come out, and they'll be... I'm doing those last, along with... because they're going to add little light gleams to everything, okay? So all the bricks around it are going to get highlighted top and bottom. Like these ones get highlighted in the bottom because there's some uplighting coming from them. And so this is it, doing all the majority of the work in like a grayscale and just punching everything out. So if you guys download, the other thing I'm going to do, because we're already at 9:30, these little bricks and all this stuff's going to take a lot of time. So what I'll probably do between now and Thursday, I'm going to do these, and I'll record it, and I'll make like a short video that's going to go in between these two live feeds to show you how to do like the window casing. That way I can have to do one, and then this stuff. That way next week when you get back, we're just doing the color and the dragon himself. If I have to go to a third part, I have to go to a third part, but I really don't want to. But I think a little short on how to do, like finish off the castle turrets are going to be helpful. And I can just record that separate. My goal tonight is to get the brick and mortar off. Maybe rough shade the dragon's face so you can see it. Yeah, there could be flags on fire too, but there's so much fire going on, all that's left is just burnt sticks. I'm gonna do some crack. Yeah, once I get this established and we see it, then as I go through to the fire, at the very end we'll go through and put like cracks in the bricks and little details. And you don't want, this is an important lesson. You don't want to get bogged down in those details too much yet. Because I might put a bunch of time in here, then I might blow fire over this whole thing, and all that was kind of useless. So, you want to kind of keep everything, as LaValle always said, like loose to tight. Keep it loose, and then start to work it at the end. Because all this little freehand stuff here, I can do this after I unmask it. Steve, what's going on, man? Thank you for popping in. But I think anyone who wants to attempt this would be a great week to download it, set up a panel. You can follow along, you can get to this point, and then by midweek I'll have another video for you that's going to have the turrets, and then we'll get to the final project next week. Next Thursday night. I think it'll be next Thursday. It'll be next Thursday, next Friday. I got to look at my calendar and make sure we're all good. I don't think I'm changing it up. So the plan will be that. Alright. Let's see. Okay, before I do that, on these castle walls, I have to brighten the kind of extrusion of the brick that goes back, because it's going to be side lit by this fire, this behind fire. So I want to do those. This will all make sense as I'm pulling it. As I'm pulling the mask. Just little bits. Get a little glow there, a little glow there. Don't lose it, just a little bit. All right. I should be able to pull this mask now and do all the rest. Because I can do the dragon. Yeah, I don't want to do too much of the dragon now. Because I got to pull this stuff off. So, yeah. Cool. Alright. Time to pull the masking. So now it's starting to look really just overly monotoned. But now, if you take your time, this is going to be more picking and weeding. Thought your picking and weed were done. Never done with projects like this. The biggest pain is going to be when I go to clear this and I find a piece of vinyl I missed after I clear it once. It's going to happen. One of the bike shops I work with, I do these crazy tape outs. They always laugh about how I always leave them a piece of tape somewhere to find, you know, on a project. I try like hell not to, but I typically do. See, it's starting to look cool. Now, it looks really stencily because before I go to here, I'm going to reshade over this mortar. And you'll see. I'll do this one side and you'll see the difference. You know, a lot of it comes off in like one pull. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, it's like Christmas again. Just not as fun. And now if I go to shade this side, it kind of starts to blend it a little bit better. A little bit more on this side. Then you can go through and you can add a little more highlights. And we'll be able to kind of really soften that edge look down as we go through the piece. Yeah, the chains just really sell the whole thing as well once it's done. And the key is to really keep this front side dark. It really sells it better. The darker I can keep this. And so there'll be a lot of cutting the values on this front facing part. Bring the values down. There's a little pun intended. That's fine. I get it. It's pretty punny. Happy little castle walls, people. Happy little castle walls with happy little bricks. Okay, tone it up. This is some more. The top tower. There's one here. Yeah, I'm gonna go through and find a bunch of it. There's a whole bunch here. Alright, there's some here. Y'all wanted the brick. Only do it when told. Yeah, I go through and pick away. Don't micromanage the process. Start with the big stuff, then go in and do all your cleanup. All the little stuff is easier to see once I get the rest. But thank you for pointing it out, because it does help me go back. Good, good, good. Come down here. Alright, that looks like castle walls, kind of. Now we got the floor. Good thing I didn't say to myself, I could do this in 2 hours. But now there's enough registration, I can do all the freehand I want later. It does show you paying attention. I appreciate that. Oh, and stay tuned for some updates. I got to call Createx. I'm going to look at some dates. I'm going to be doing a live in-person class at Createx. I'm thinking actually sometime in February. I got to look at the dates with them and see what works out good. And then we also going to plan another one up at Maple Art Supply up in Canada. Probably for spring. Early spring up there. But we are going to be doing a Createx one in Connecticut. I'm hoping for like mid-February. Oof. Looks like Castle Drawbridge should be, yep. That's kind of the point. So it's doing good. This is just like rocks and stuff and all that can come in later. Alright. So the next part of it's going to be the dragon face, because I'm going to do, I'm going to wait till next week on that. I'm going to do this on a side video, that way these turrets get done, because they're going to take, it's probably going to take me about half an hour to 40 minutes just to do these turrets. So I'll do that on a side video. That way when I come back, we're doing the dragon's face, and then going to color, and then the chains. And I think that's a really good, I think that's manageable for the last 2 hours. I think it'll be really good. I think we're getting that dimension. Looks pretty cool. Hope you guys have enjoyed the first... Big Mountain. I missed it, jeez. The first of 2024, the Dragon Project. Way more to come. Yeah. This is a fun one. This is going to be great. I'm just deciding 15 minutes left. See if and it's only reason because he starts to overlap this tower, so I got to get that done. Yeah, I mean I could do it, but it's just not worth making it confusing. I love this one, and the Alco Scully project's great. A lot of similarity in the lessons, but this is a good example of like a fully flushed out painting. It's not just an individual object. We're dealing with a character, hard, soft, fire, everything. And yeah, it's just a matter of color tones. If I'm going to do it in like a blue overlay, which is what the original was done, or blues and purples. I don't think greens. I'm not doing realistic colors like reds, and it's too much. It'll take 5 lessons to do that. If I was going to be doing this in realistic colors, I probably would have already started toning reds and oranges up top before I got to here, and then reds and oranges. I would have done it differently. But I think this is a great start for the new year. I want to thank everyone for popping in. I hope everyone has had an awesome New Year's thus far. We'll keep the ball rolling. Stay tuned for the channel. Make sure you have the notifications turned on, because I'm going to do a video between now and next Thursday of the castle turrets. That way, for all of you who download it or want to go download it, go to McKayFineArt.com, get the download, start your project. Remember, it's a 12 by 18 inch panel. I actually sprayed this with a black and bluish base. I did a mixture of Autoborn Sealer black with their blue, mostly on the black side. It's just got a little bluish tint because I didn't want it solid black. And then let that cure, lay the mask on with the stone, and then we're at this point. So if you want to get there and follow next week, it'll be awesome. Go to McKayFineArt.com, and remember, all you members, all you YouTube Down and Dirty Tricksters, you get your discount, 20% off, and it'll be good to see you. See y'all next week. Have a good one. I'm out.